Hey guys, so long time no see. I know it's been a little while since I've posted, but I've had so much going on that I figured I would do a get ready with me today. You guys know I don't do get ready with me's unless I have stuff to talk about, and I have a ton of stuff to talk about. So I figure let's just get into it. Stop! Persephone! Okay, package time I guess. I got this. I was like, oh, it's embroidered. That's so nice. It's from Laura Geller. Super excited about this. I'm all about this right now. And it also has a little set of these highlighters. It's a palette. And these little individual ones. Well, I guess not individual. Trio. So cute though. I love when stuff comes personalized. Anyway. So I know that for like a while I was talking a lot about like Halloween, and I was like really doing all that stuff on my Instagram. Well, like a week before Halloween, I went to New Mexico for a couple days so I could hang out with my friends and just do like a Halloween visit because it's the best time of year. So like why not go home for a little bit and do like all the Halloween festivities with my friends. So I went down there for 4 or 5 days, but before that, when I was here, I was really scrambling to get all of my work done because I posted almost every single day that I was in New Mexico on Instagram at least. And this is just like a super busy time of year, like sponsored wise, I guess, just because like it's like Halloween, you know, like Halloween makeup, and then it goes to like Black Friday stuff, and then it goes to like Christmas stuff. So it's just lots of sort of like campaigns and stuff right now. So I was really busy trying to get all that done. So because I wasn't going to be in town when all of them needed to be like sent and posted and stuff like that, and I had this trip planned for like a couple months. New Mexico was super fun though. Really, we went and we just like partied a lot, mostly like house parties because my friend is in college, so she goes to all of those, and we went to a nightclub and bars and just stuff like that, but it was really fun. I actually wore my Sucker Punch costume in public, so that was interesting. I didn't think that I actually would, but I had a total, like, not mishap, I guess. My friends were going to be Beetlejuice and Lydia. I was like, oh, I'm gonna join in on their costume because I saw this shirt on Dolls Kill and it was like a Tim Burton film, and I was like, oh my god, it'd be perfect. Because it was like a trip, I really didn't want to be doing like a lot of makeup the entire time. I didn't want to spend my entire like time getting ready just doing a bunch of makeup that I had been doing for like the past month because of like the Halloween videos. So I was like, oh, that'll be a super easy costume, like you don't have to do like anything. Perfect. So I ordered it like a week before I left, which I thought was fine because I did express shipping. So I actually like paid for the shipping. I didn't take the free shipping. I did like the express. I mean, it was like $5, but still, you know, I paid for it. So I expected it, you know, like practically a week before I left. I ordered it on a Monday and I left the next Wednesday. So I figured for express 2 to 3 day shipping, it'd been fine. But no, USPS ends up losing the package. Then I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna wait and see if it turns up before I leave because it wasn't a cheap shirt. It was like $45. And I was like, I don't really want to order another one. Then I have to like return the other one if it shows up. And so I kind of just was hoping that it was going to turn up before, and it didn't. So then I was like, fine, you know what? I'm gonna just one day it now to my dad's in New Mexico. So then I one dayed it. I know this is like a busy time of year for like the shipping service. However, if something says one day, then it should get there in one day, not 2 days. So then I ended up getting there 2 days later, so I had missed one of the days that I needed it. And I also decided to order these shoes because they were like $25 on sale. They're from Current Mood, and I was like, these would go perfect with the whole like Beetlejuice like sort of theme. So I ordered those as well, and I had ordered everything on a Wednesday and it all got there on a Friday, even though it was supposed to be one day. So that sucked. But then it got there, right? So I tried the shirt on and there was absolutely no way, no how it was gonna fit over my boobs. There was just, nope. It was super, it was like not a stretchy material and I didn't know that. I just sort of assumed like the tank top would be stretchy. That might be my fault for not looking at the material, but like usually you just think like, usually tank tops have some sort of stretch, especially if they're just like a spaghetti strap. Like it just looks, I don't know. I guess I don't encounter that many that aren't stretchy that kind of look like that. So then that was the point where I was like, I have to wear my backup costume and actually wear the sucker punch one out. And I only got hit on by like, I don't know, like 7 creepy guys, so could have gone worse, I guess. I did have a couple like really weird run-ins though. For some reason, guys were being like, not that I was being like flirtatious or like rude to anyone, like, you know, like I was mostly hanging out with my friends, so like I was just being, I don't know, like perfectly normal, friendly, but not like flirty, I guess. And I had some guys be really, really rude to me. I had one guy throw my drink in a house party, which I have never had happen before. It was like, excuse me, like I had talked to this guy at sort of the beginning of the night. He came up and he was like, oh my god, I love your costume, you know, like I love your makeup. And I was like, oh thank you. I couldn't really see his face because his entire face was painted, but he seemed really friendly, really nice. And he kind of was just talking to all of me and my friends, and we're just like, oh yeah, like fun party, like da-da, you know, just like normal stuff, but like it was perfectly normal. The night sort of went on and I was waiting for one of my friends to come out of the bathroom, because usually, you know, like at parties you don't want to like have one person go off alone. Also, I was standing like sort of like right at the beginning of the hallway-ish where the bathroom was, and my other friend was dancing sort of like in the room connected to the hallway, if that makes sense. You guys know what I'm trying to say. She was dancing with this guy, and I wasn't like, I'm like 99% sure I wasn't staring or making any faces or anything. I was just like standing there like on my phone like waiting for her. I wasn't dancing, but I also wasn't like in the middle of the dance floor, so I didn't feel the need to like, you know, I'm just like chilling while everyone's, you know, going at it. And the guy that was dancing with my friend that we had talked to earlier, he comes up and he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what? And he was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm waiting for my friend. And he was like, no, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, what are you doing here right now? And I was like, waiting for my friend, standing here? Like, I don't know what you're asking me. And then he like grabs my drink and throws it and sort of like gets a little close to me. And I was like, you know, I was really taken off guard because I just didn't expect it. You know, it's like it was really unexpected. Since I had talked to him in the beginning of the night and everything was fine, like we're friendly, like I don't know, it was just really weird. And especially because he was dancing with one of the other girls that I was with that night, so it was like, why? I don't know. And so then my friend came up and was like, whoa, she's with me, what are you doing? Like, that's not cool. And I was still like, I need to leave. Like, I need to take myself out of the situation. And then he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, goodbye. Like, that's not, like, you don't do that to anyone. Like, there's no reason. That was one of the weird encounters. And then at a different party, I was talking to a cousin of a friend, if that makes sense. My friend's friend had introduced him to us in the beginning of the night. Like all 3 of us as a group, and we had been all sort of together. We were hanging out with this guy and our friend like off and on like throughout the night. Like again, like perfectly normal. I'm gonna use the new Huda Beauty palette. So I got this while I was gone like 2 weeks ago and I still haven't touched it, but it's so pretty. Where did the brushes go? How did I lose them already? Also came with 3 brushes. This side. This one is for like the shimmers and stuff in it, since a lot of people can't, you know, like use their finger. So I like that she did that for this palette. And then these brushes. Anyway, so we were talking to this guy, and then, like, he was just kind of standing there awkwardly because I don't think he knew anyone. I didn't know anyone either. So, like, he had, like, 2 drinks and, like, a soda and, like, some wine. And I was like, that's a weird combination. Just, like, a normal conversation. But he was, like, kind of dancing and swaying, and, like, the wine was, like, I swear, like, it was a miracle. And he was wearing, like, a white shirt. I was like, it was a miracle it hadn't splashed on him already. I had no idea how. But he was, like, swaying, whatever. And I was like, you are, like, 2 seconds from spilling that wine. And then, like, we just, like, were sort of talking, like, a super normal conversation was going on for, like, 5 minutes. And then my other friends, like, came up. And then, like, his cousin came up. Is this too long of an explanation? I feel like I'd need a lot of backstory, otherwise you guys are like, I don't care. And then that night, I wasn't drinking because I had drank, like, the past 2 nights. And, I mean, I wasn't, like, totally abandoning my diet because I was on vacation, and also my friend had driven the past 2 nights because I had been drinking, my friend had been drinking, so I was like, you know what, I'll drive tonight, like, so I wasn't drinking. At some point in the conversation, he's like, why aren't you drinking? And I was like, oh, because I'm driving. You know, to most people that would make sense, like, oh, you're not drinking because you have to drive. Okay. That's it. He was like, so why aren't you drinking? And I was like, because I have to drive. And it was like the same thing, like asking me a question, I thought it was an obvious answer, I guess wasn't. I don't know, maybe I don't know, I'm not good at conversating with people, maybe it's my fault, I don't know. And then he kept asking, and I was like, so I kept giving, like, you know, like, very different answers because I don't know what he's trying to ask me. And he was like, well, why aren't you drinking? And I was like, so I've drinking the past 2 nights. And he was like, well, why have you drank the past 2 nights? I'm like, I don't know, because, like, we were out, we've been partying, I don't know. And it's not like I drink, like, a lot in general. Like, I almost never drink. Like, I was drinking because I, like, went out with, like, my friends, and, like, I see them, like, once or twice a year. Other than that, like, I don't drink at home. Like, I don't practically ever drink. Like, once every 6 months, maybe. Okay, so I had to take a call. So, sorry if the story doesn't line up, like, exactly from where I left off. But I have a lot of other stuff to talk about, too, so I'm just gonna get to the point. It just, like, got to, like, no, I'm driving because she's driven the past 2 nights when I drank. And he goes, oh, I didn't know you guys were together. And, like, we had been all standing together talking to him for a while, and all of us got introduced together to him, and, like, I was introduced as a friend, whatever. So I just said something like, yeah, that's why we've been standing together all night, which I guess is, like, a tiny bit sassy, but also a little bit sarcastic, but it's also not that deep. And he got, like, he went from, like, 0 to 100 and was like, well, it's not like I've been staring at you all night. And I was like, but he didn't say it like, oh, well, it's not like I've been staring at you all night. It was, like, aggressive, like, and he was a big guy, too, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna nope out of this, too. So, I don't know. Guys were just very rude to me all weekend. It was super weird. Never had that happen before, but whatever. I'm not upset about it. It was just more of like a, okay, I need to remove myself from the situation because I don't want to be around that. So that's my story about that stuff. I was super, honestly, stressed the entire time. I really still wanted to sort of stick to my diet. I didn't want to ruin my diet over, like, one vacation, I guess. And pretty much the only sugar I have every single day is 1 soda. It's, like, one of the sugar-free ones. So I basically have no sugar. And since I was drinking and having, like, and also, like, you know, when you go back to your hometown, like, most of the time, like, that food you think is, like, the best food in the world. I mean, I know the New Mexico food is the best food in the world, but you know what I mean? Like, you go back and you want to eat at all of your favorite places and stuff like that, but I was really keeping to my diet. And so it was hard when everyone was like, oh, let's go, you know, out to eat, let's do this. And I'm like, I'm not gonna eat out 3 times a day. Like, sorry, it's just not gonna happen. So I did eat at, like, my favorite places, but I just still kept it, like, to a minimum. There was only one day where I was like, I'm gonna eat this entire plate of thing, and I checked the calories after, and it's still, like, it wasn't even bad. I guess just, like, coincidentally the stuff I liked was, like, the not worst thing on the menu. But regardless, I really watched it the entire time, and when I got home, I had lost 1 pound. So I did really, really good, and I was really proud of myself that I was able to go out of town and still keep to my diet for the most part. Right now, I am down to 166, so I don't remember what I was when I put up my last video, like, 2 weeks ago. Obviously, like, going to New Mexico slowed my weight loss a tiny bit, but it didn't, like, I've had a lot going on the past week or 2. So it's not like, again, like I haven't abandoned my diet. It's just like I haven't been maybe eating the healthiest. So I've still been losing weight, but just not as fast. So I have basically like 16 more pounds into my like first goal of 150. But I was super proud of myself that I was able to stay on track for the most part. So that's how my like diet progress is going. Oh, so when I know I like vaguely talked about, here's where like my TMI story comes in. So if you don't like that type of stuff, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, most of my demographic is women, so I don't think most people will care. But I was originally planning on getting my IUD out when I went to New Mexico, because that's where like my doctor that I prefer is. But I got too scared, to be honest. I don't know if I've talked about, but basically getting the IUD in was like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. Worse than getting lipo awake. Honestly, it was just, I can deal with pain. Obviously, I have a bunch of holes in my face and, you know, giant holes in my ears and whatever. Got lipo awake. That's just not a pain I can deal with. I feel like it's different. So I got too scared and I didn't do it. So when I got back, I knew I really couldn't avoid it anymore because I was having really, 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 really bad irregular periods, and I knew it was like, it's time. Like, I got it. It was the 3 years was up. Also, I want to preface this by saying just because I got my IUD out does not mean I'm having kids. Please don't ask. It's not happening ever. I've made this clear tons of times. So I scheduled it for like the day or two after I got back, and I went in, and luckily I told David he didn't need to come with me because he had to work, but he decided to make the executive decision that he did, and I'm really glad he did, but I really did need him there. And I had a panic attack because I knew it was gonna hurt, and that was just not something I wanted to do again. The IUD has not been good to me throughout the 3 years I've had it, but I've been too scared to get it out. So I was like, you know, whatever, I'm gonna wait until I absolutely have to get it out. And this was when I absolutely had to. Got to the doctor, and I was seeing a resident instead of like an actual doctor, but I figured that's fine because usually like IUD removals, they literally just pull it out. Like, a lot of people remove their own. Like, you should not remove your own, and I wouldn't remove my own, but a lot of people do. Like, they literally just like pull it out. And so I figured, you know what, that's fine, whatever. I was already really freaked out and on the verge of tears like the entire time because I didn't want to do it, but I knew I had to do it, and like, and she was really on me about getting another one in, and even like then recommending an even bigger one because I had the Skyla, which is like the smallest one you can possibly get, and that one really was like not good for me. And so she was asking me about getting a bigger one, and then all these other forms of birth control and all that kind of stuff. And I had been on Depo, I've been on the pill, like I've been on that stuff, like, and I just feel like the hormones do not do well with my body. I've talked about how Depo was part of the reason I gained so much weight. Like, I don't want to mess with that anymore. Like, I'm over it. I'm done. She would not stop asking me about like, oh, well, how about getting this one and this and this, and I was like, no, thank you. Like, please stop. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, just, I want to get this out, and that's all I want to do. Because it wasn't my regular doctor either. It was just someone I'm seeing like this one time. So I was like, no, thank you. Like, I just want to do this one and leave. And then on top of it, she was also like, well, how about getting a pap smear on top of it? And I was like, no. Like, I will schedule a different appointment to my regular doctor for that. Like, I just want to get this out and be done. And I was already freaking out a lot, and I was already almost crying. And then she asked me like 5 or 10 more times. And like, I just, you know, when someone tells you no, like, no thank you, I don't want to do that, you say, okay. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't gonna die if I didn't get one. It'd be okay if I waited another couple weeks or a month. And she was really stressing me out when I was already stressed out. So then she finally asked, like, well, you know, like, you know, it's probably better. And then so finally I just started bawling, and I was like, I can't do it today, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then so she like got freaked out then. But like, what do you expect? Like, you badger someone over and over and over about something they don't want to do, and then they cry. I don't know. And my boyfriend said I already looked like I was on the verge of tears the entire time anyway, so I don't know. So anyway, I cried the entire time. And then when I actually got it out, it did hurt. It didn't hurt as bad as getting it in, but it definitely was not pleasant at all. Actually, it was actively painful. And I wanted to talk about this because I know a lot of people, I put it on like my story on my like second Instagram, and a lot of people were asking about it because they have to get theirs out and they're scared, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it hurts. Like, I feel like you can feel, like, I could feel where it was going, and it was not pleasant. That was that. Something else that happened. I know that you guys are going to ask about these nails. I know they're super pretty. I actually love the set. I know they're super short for me. But I had a mishap happen. So right before I left to New Mexico, I had a problem. So I was sort of rushing getting clothes out of my dryer. And I don't know what happened, like what I was even like really doing. But I just know that I messed up. I had my really, really long, like, green nails that I just previously had. They weren't like a permanent set. Like, I was gonna file them down more, but that was just like the base acrylic that I had done. And then I was gonna do a video decorating them for Halloween. What had happened was I was grabbing something out of the dryer, and I was doing it quickly, and I was in a rush, and I think I went to grab the lint out, and there was like a bunch of, you know, perfectly like nail-sized holes, I guess. And I don't know what I did, but I like shoved my nail in there, and I didn't even think about it, and I like pulled it out. And obviously, you know, like, if my nails weren't that long or big or whatever at that point, I guess it wouldn't have gotten caught, but maybe it would, because I think I like stuck it in and then like turned it, and so like it wasn't like out, you know. Had I just put it in and then put it out, it probably would have been fine. I think I like put it in and then like turned my hand and then like tried to pull it out. Anyway, a little bit of my real nail ended up coming off with it because my acrylic was not lifting, so my real nail lifted a tiny bit, and so that was very painful, and I was very sad. So what happened was I basically just kind of like left it alone for like a day because it was too painful. I wasn't about to mess with it. And then after a couple days, I took the acrylic off very carefully. Spent a lot of time soaking it off. And then I put these, you guys remember those 8-press like Gel X nail things? They're basically a full cover. It's like not like a tip, but it's a full cover. And you put it on with the gel, and I decided I want to protect this nail because it was super painful without anything on top of it. But also, I am so sorry, and I know everyone's going to be like, you should just leave it alone. Don't do anything. I know. Okay, but I'm not gonna. So then I decided I'm gonna do these, and so it can just have a full cover, and I can just let it grow out with this without basically having to mess with it, without putting any more acrylic on top of it. And like, this sort of system really doesn't need a lot of filing like your regular nail or buffing or anything like that. So I put it on, I put the cover, and you can't even really tell which one it is. It's this one. Let's see if you can sort of see. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I guess you can sort of see underneath a little bit. But yeah, so I did film this, and I decided I'll put that video out when these come off. I want to see how long they last. I got the hang of it this time, and they're so much stronger than they were last time. Last time they didn't last more than like a day. They were like bending and like they were like lifting, and just wasn't good. But this time I really got the hang of it. I do think you probably need to do it more than once before you like really got it on there solid. But they've been on really solid. They're not lifting. They feel great. So what these ones are right now, and I will release this video after I see how long they last. Because that's what I said I would do last time, but then they didn't end up lasting, and I hadn't had an opportunity to redo them, I guess, until now. So I will release that video whenever these come off, which it's probably going to be a little bit, nail videos are going to be a little bit to a halt because I want it to grow out. And the last thing I want to do is mess with it anymore. Let's see. I'm almost done, and I've been blabbering on this entire time. It's going to be a long video. I'm so sorry. Where did the lipstick? I picked out a lipstick, and now I can't find it. This is a MAC, like, holiday one. It's called Babe Town. But this is, like, almost my exact lip color. A little bit pinker. Aside from that, honestly, probably the biggest thing that's happened that I'm like, I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about too much, is that I'm buying a house. So that's a huge deal, and it's like happened like super quick. We started looking for a house. Today's Tuesday? On Friday, and we got under contract yesterday. We put in an offer on something on Sunday. We ended up having to put in an offer on this house without seeing it. Again, whenever we're farther along and I have the house and stuff like that, I will talk about that a lot more, but I haven't actually seen the house myself. Basically, market super competitive. If you like a house, you better put an offer on it. And we did, and we luckily have an amazing realtor because it was on the market for like, I don't know, a night, and there was multiple offers already. I'm going to spray some of this just because, I don't know, it's like really calling to me. Look how pretty. First, so we spent like hours and hours going through our offer with our realtor, and he's really amazing and he worded things amazing, and they ended up accepting ours even though ours was not the highest because we are paying over asking price, which is like crazy. And so this is going to be a super quick process, and I'm going to be insanely busy because like I said, we started under contract like a day ago basically, and we are closing before the end of the month. So usually that doesn't happen. Usually it's like a minimum of 30 days, but for us it's like 3 weeks. So once I have the house and stuff, I'll of course do like an empty house tour and I will talk about it way more. And I'm so excited because like I want to paint this house, and like the house is really nice, like nicer than I thought we would be able to get, and bigger than I thought we were going to be able to get. And it's just a really amazing house, and it's like perfect. But there is some stuff I want to do to it, so I'm super excited to be able to do those videos with like showing you guys how I'm going to decorate and taking you guys on like buying like, I don't know, like, you know, really pretty chandeliers and painting the house and, you know, replacing like the bathroom mirrors and just all the stuff that I'm going to do to it. I can't wait to be able to make those videos. I'm so excited. But, you know, like anything basically until it's like it's in your name, you have the keys, can fall through. So I don't want to talk about it like extensively, even though like you know, like we're already past, like we've already scheduled inspection, we've already have our insurance, we already sent the earnest money, all that kind of stuff. It's still, you know, you never know. So, but just know that like, you know, basically probably, I imagine if everything goes as planned, you guys will probably see it around like December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Depending on when I would put up that like empty house tour video, like before we even move into it. But I am super, 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 super excited. This is like all I've ever wanted. All I've ever wanted was my own house. We've been saving and saving and saving for years. Like we've basically just been living off of David's income for like the past year. And I've saved almost every single penny that I've made to be able to put like a down payment, and I've worked really hard on like not buying basically anything. You guys know I don't really spend that much money on basically anything for like this reason. All it is because I want my own house. I want my dogs to have a yard, and they're gonna have a yard. It's on a 1/4 acre, which I mean it's not huge, but for a backyard that's pretty big, you know. And all I want for my dogs is for them to be able to, you know, sunbathe and run around and bark at squirrels in the trees and everything like that. And we're not happy living in an apartment. I mean, like honestly, most of the time, like who is? I just feel really bad for my dogs, and like we don't have enough space, and like I never went and never bought like nice furniture because I'm always like, well, we're not gonna be here that long, even though we've been here like 2 years. I've always been like, why buy nice furniture if it's just like, you know, we're planning on getting a house at some point and I want nicer furniture. So like, you know, we bought like the cheapest IKEA furniture when we first moved into this place, and we still have it. Basically all I've ever wanted is my own house, and that's all I want in life. Just so this is like dream come true. But I think that's all I'm going to say about that. Just know that like if I've been MIA and like that's all I've been doing, I've been out of town, buying a house, getting my IUD out. Like it's just been like after I got my IUD out, I needed a couple days to just like chill, because like I said, like it's never been good to me, and I was having a lot of like issues down there until I got it out. And then now it was like took a day or two of like sort of cramping to like I'm just gonna stop. But now regular videos will be back up. Luckily, I know we all loved when I colored that one wig blue. I secured another wig, so another video of me dyeing a wig will be up this month. Got a super fun clothing haul that I'm going to put up soon. Another one with another wig. I just am really into wigs right now, and I'm gonna dye my hair this week. So lots of stuff coming up. Actually gonna post. Sorry for being gone so long. I know my hair right now is looking a little crunchy. That's because whenever I use this black background, like every single little hair like goes up and exposes me. So I literally hairsprayed it down, which I never put hairspray in my hair, but now look, it's all like a one piece. Anyway, I'm blabbering on now. So thanks for watching this video. It was probably long. Sorry for being gone again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you like these videos. Now that I have so much going on during that whole process of like moving and the house and furniture and stuff like that, I'm probably gonna vlog a ton more, so I hope that's okay, just like going along and doing all that kind of stuff. And I've also talked to an editor about editing some of those vlogs, so that way when I'm moving there isn't like huge gaps like this again, like 2 weeks of content and stuff. Okay, this is like the fifth time I said I'm going now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you like this video. Hopefully if you guys like this one, I can keep doing some more Get Ready With Me, since I'll have a lot more updates about everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!